Good morning. Welcome to the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. I'm your host, Harvey Freed, the one and only, my only guest today, or my co-host, Alexis Carmona, Anthony John Real Estate. How you doing? Luxury real estate.
Yes, I'm doing fantastic, Harvey. How about you?
Fantastic. It's always great to have you on. I love seeing you at the office. I miss you. I really haven't been by. And you guys got a brand new office, too. Where is that? It's a big building.
An amazing building. So Anthony bought this amazing building on Stevenson Highway, remodeled it. Our team has expanded. We have like 70 agents now. It's huge. We love it. The energy is great. We love when you stop in just because your energy is so fast paced, just like us.
Oh, I appreciate that. Definitely, we're going to talk all about mortgages and real estate, and we won't pat each other on the back. We're just going to help everyone out there listening who wants to buy a house and make it really cool. And I promise, I'm coming out to that office next week for sure. It looks beautiful. I've seen a whole bunch of videos and stuff, and it looks like it's amazing.
My favorite part's the chandelier when you come in the front.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you got to have the entrance. Well, just like someone's house for that matter.
It's literally the most beautiful chandelier I think I've seen.
You're going to a couple great houses today. I know you said you're going to Northern Oakland County. And, when you pull up to these houses, every house is different. It's got one of the houses might be a great house because it's on the water. It has water privileges. But it might not be as pretty as maybe something else that you've even been involved with in the last couple of weeks.
I would have to say yes, but I'll tell you what, my dream is to live on the water. So if anybody ever wants to go take a look at anything on the water, I'm down. Okay,
well, good. You can visit me anytime out there in the inland lakes. It's a lot of fun. We're going to talk about Michigan and all the great things that Michigan has to offer. Of course, we always want to help you if you want to buy a vacation home anywhere else in the United States. We can help you. And, of course, Capital Mortgage Funding, Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation offers mortgages in all 50 states. So we make it fun if you want to buy a vacation house somewhere else, too. But Michigan could be a vacation. 60 degrees today. I think it's going to feel like one for most of our listeners.
I can't wait to go on a vacation. Even if I just go up north really quick, up to Torch Lake or something, I'm ready.
I might go right into our Michigan talk here. I actually wrote a few things down. What makes our area so great? There's just a lot of reasons why. Great schools, really great public schools. It's not the roads. It's definitely not the roads.
Not the roads.
We know that's not it. But the automotive industry brings a lot of engineers to our area. And, of course, people who have studied engineering, the different mechanical engineering, industrial engineering. They come here and they work for the automotive industry, and our employment is very healthy and wealthy right now.
It's amazing. Most of my clients are engineers or they work in the auto industry. They're some of my favorite clients to work with because they're very analytical, just like me, and they're very number oriented, and we work very well together because they like me because I'm a straight shooter and they're a straight shooter, and we just get the deal done.
Well, employment's very important when we're working with our families here in Southeast Michigan, but it's affordable here. Like Alexa, we work with people that are buying first-time homes. The first-time home buyer. They might be at 120, 150 right now. Those are really tough deals to get accepted.
It's pretty competitive just because you're not only competing with other first-time home buyers, but you're competing with investors as well, because that is a price point that investors just love to be in. And, they have the cash to go in and flip a house.
Well, like you said, you love the lakes area, and we're going to help a lot of families, hopefully. 103 state parks here in Michigan, recreation areas that are just incredible, like Sleeping Bear and Picture Rocks, National Lakeshore, and the UP. We also, we got the UP. You know how we got the Upper Peninsula, by the way? We inherited it. We lost out on Toledo. What a shame. But
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, the consolation gift, no offense to our folks on the southern border there, but our consolation gift was the UP, I think back in like 1836 or something. But I don't know anything about Michigan history, so we will talk about that at a later date. Let's talk mortgages and real estate.
Let's do it.
What's going on right now, right here in our own backyard? It's the inventory issue.
Issue.
Oh, boy.
It is, I don't want to say it's a complete disaster,
okay,
but it's not easy because of the main reason why there's a lack of inventory, I believe, and from my experience in the last few years, is a lot of people, one, they're very happy with where they live.
Yeah.
Two, they are nervous that they won't be able to find anything if they put their home on the market.
Well, do enough of families out there want to upgrade? I mean, it's impossible to improve your house now because the contractors are taking 6 months to 12 months, maybe even to make an appointment, even to start work on the house. So that gets a little distasteful. And plus the workers, it's the lack of labor out there has made it really expensive.
Yes.
And the materials.
And then people do switch to new construction too, in that sense, thinking there won't be a lot of competition. But even those take quite a while. COVID did push things back. The city, you have to get city inspections, and city inspectors are really far behind in some cases. So it's it's been tough to work through. People are buying houses that need to be remodeled, and they're thinking, okay, well, I have to take this home on at a higher price point and hold on to it for a while, and I can't do much remodels until I could get a team in here. So that's very difficult, but people are doing it just to get the home.
Yeah, you got to start somewhere. It's definitely been tough out there. Again, all the great interest rates have made the market. The pandemic has brought on these crazy low interest rates.
Yes.
Brings out everyone wants to be a buyer now. Everyone wants to have a roof over their own head. And really the HGTV shows, which is fun. You're young. You got that energy too. You're the Pinterest girl. You can, did I say that right?
I don't use Pinterest.
Oh, you don't? Okay. Well, it looks
all
like
my ideas come from up here.
Oh, okay.
Classic.
But they are pretty, these are the way to pretty up a home. You see the great ideas out there. I think it's really opened my eyes up to knocking down walls, in the old style homes that we have, a lot of these around Michigan.
One of my favorite things to do when I walk in a house actually is to say, you know what? We can knock this wall down. We can knock this wall down. And my clients love it because that's what they want. Everybody wants open concept. I do feel in some cases we have a generation coming back with a little more traditional. They like the compartmentalized look as well because they want that classic dining room. They want something that maybe they didn't have growing up so they could give it to their kids. So everything is cyclical. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, things change. Back in the 2000s, I saw an average back in the early 2000s to about 2008, most families only kept their home for just over 4 years. Yeah. Now it's more like 10 and a half years.
People are happy.
And they can knock down a wall. And like you said, the open concepts. I've had both. I've had these, lots of rooms in a house. And then I've had the open cathedral ceilings. It gets loud sometimes in those open cathedral ceilings. But if you're having 40 people over for Thanksgiving, that's a lot of fun, too.
Yeah, I personally have cathedral ceilings in my house as well. And it's very open. Everything's white and clean and bright. So I enjoy that for myself.
All right, we're going to give you mortgage and real estate talk all morning long. Alexis Carmona, again, Anthony John, Luxury Real Estate. They've got a new office out there. What do you guys? Is that Troy? It's on the border, Troy, out there on Stevenson Highway. Yeah, really cool stuff. Anthony, maybe he'll even call in if we can get him rattled up. He might not. We'll take your calls, though, at 248-539-9797. It's the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show. Also at Capital Mortgage Funding, a full staff all weekend long at 1-800-LOW-RATE. The best mortgage banker. I talked to Mike. I know Mike's there for sure. And if you want to get a house today, this afternoon, he can run you a solid approval. We're doing approvals within a few hours. Again, we'll run your file through the automated system, gather your documentation. It doesn't take a lot to really be prepared. I'm sort of shocked that more families aren't really meeting us ahead of time. I've talked to some families who didn't have true approval letters. And, that's one of the things we're going to always talk about on this show is really being prepared to close in 30 days. Lack of inventory means you got to be ready to close. You can't be struggling where you're going to find the money and all sorts of things.
I think a lot of people do not prepare because of lack of knowledge or lack of resources, or some people have a family friend and the family friend is a little slow to help them out, and they just think, oh, it'll be no problem. I'll get to him when I get to him. By the time they get to him, they don't know what's going on in the market, but that client is just like, well, that's my family friend, so he's got my back, But
sometimes that can work out.
It could, but definitely buyer consultations are very important. Very important. I teach all of my agents how to do buyer consults and, to go over what type of lending someone's working with so we can really guide our clients on which direction we need to take them or which direction they need to go based on their goals and what they're working with.
Yeah, I actually met someone the other day, and they were going back and forth with me and talking about this conventional approval they had, and they did have it in writing.
Okay.
And after I reviewed their documents, 30 years mortgage experience, I'm like, no, you don't. You just got a brand new job, and you don't have overtime income that you can use, and you don't have bonus income you can use.
How did they get that?
So because they didn't thoroughly go to somebody who was vested in making sure that they were going to be able to close in 30 days. So, we were able to switch things around. Mm-hmm. It's an FHA loan now with high back-end ratios, but those are tougher loans to get approved.
Yes.
Because of the fact that you can't even get an offer accepted. If we get our hands on it, we'll close you.
Listen.
But getting that offer accepted.
There are ways you can get it done. I just closed on an FHA for one of my clients. There are a few things that you could do. There's special escalation clauses. If you can afford your own FHA repairs and pay for your own re-inspections, I say go for it. Save up as much money as possible to pay your own closing costs so you don't have to expect anything from the seller. and really push with your lender to get all of your documents in on time to get that thing closed up faster than 45 days.
Yeah, and even see them ahead of time. Definitely. All right, we got tons to share with you. We're going to make it fun here. 248-539-9797. When we come back, all of your calls. Alrighty, welcome back to the show. 9:14. Hey, it's going to be a pretty weekend out there. We'll talk all about it. Again, we are brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding, powered by Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, NMLS 2289, Equal Housing Lender. I'm Harvey Freed. She's Alexis Carmona. Great real estate agent. Always fun to talk real estate. And, you know, I have more and more of your millennial age group out there because you guys are buying houses and you're doing these Mr. loans and you're doing 3% down conventional. You guys don't have a ton of money to throw down unless you're inheriting it or something.
Very true.
But you're buyers. You're ready to go.
So what happens with that situation, you really need to make sure you're working with a dynamic agent. So great for you, you're conventional, you're a step ahead, 3% down, wonderful. You're not using all of your liquid. You can save some liquid for some remodeling because that's what's going to happen. You're going to end up getting a house that's going to need some work. I know a lot of people, they want the ones that are all done, but if you want to go after the ones that are all remodeled, you got to bring heavy liquid these days. So
maybe over and above appraised value.
Yeah.
We'll talk a little bit about that again. Yes.
I mean, I can go into it.
Yeah.
If you want, what do you need to do? What should buyers expect?
About 225 to 250. These first-time home buyers are looking to buy a nice house in these fun cities too, whether they're in the Macomb cities or the Oakland or the Wayne or the Genesee, wherever.
Yes.
They're out there. How do they, they're going to probably be looking at 10 to 20 grand over. Tell us a little bit about those things.
I would say, look, if you are trying to buy a house right now, some things that you're going to need to expect. You're going to need to, there's no time to sleep on it anymore. Okay. You're young and you're making a very large decision. I know you might want to be able to sleep on it, but you're going to have to be able to move fast. And an easy way to move fast is you find a realtor you can really, really trust. One that is full-time, very active, looking out for your best interest, proactively seeking inventory for you, going on listing appointments, things like that. So another thing you're going to have to think of, extra cash over the appraisal. save up money. If you're thinking of buying a house right now, try to save up an additional $5,000 outside of your down payment and outside of your closing costs. A minimum of $5,000 can actually really go a long way, because if you're looking in some cities, you're competing with other people your age in the same scenario, and they might not have $5,000, they might not have $7,000, you know? So if you have that extra five, that could really go a long way, because me as an agent, I could work with that, and I can work on my end. I could work with other types of clauses, escalation clauses. So we're not fully using all of it, but we could. It's nice to have to fall back on.
You need it. Relatives can help. You know, the gift letter is from a direct relative, so it's a brother, sister, mother, father. It could be an uncle and aunt also. So, you know, can you reach out to a relative and maybe prepare a gift letter? Yeah. So you can talk about that with your lender ahead of time. You really need that 24/7 call. You need to be, you know, your agent, your mortgage person. If they're not available 24/7, I just thinking, my phone's on. Call me tonight at 11. I'm ready to go.
Whenever I'm dealing with a client that says, "Oh, my agent or my lender's not working right now," I said, "Well, why?
Huh?
Where do they work?" And they're like, "You know, the bank that I use." And I'm like, "Well, you need to get a new lender, because the market's not sleeping. We can't. If we're writing an offer on a house on Saturday that we're seeing at 9 a.m., it's going to be gone by 5 p.m.
Yeah.
We can't wait until Monday to hear back from your bank about whether you are contingent or not." You know, there's things that we need to know. You need to know your numbers. You need to have somebody that's available to be as quick as you and your agent.
Those pre-written contingency forms are dynamite. The agents that have been around and are right in the business, the multiple closings, the big players out there, they have these pre-written escalation clauses, appraisal guarantees. You can fill in a maximum that you're willing to pay, a minimum you're willing to pay for the house, or the seller's willing to take for the house.
Yes.
And you can do it in the Queen's English. Oh, my Lord. What are these people writing lately? Maybe they need to go to school.
Recently, I actually wrote an offer in Madison Heights for a client that was working with a different agent before, and they kept losing out on houses. Their agent, I think, may have been part-time, and they found me. They're really happy with me. There's really not much inventory to show them, but when we do find a house, we went hard. I mean, we made videos, but one of the clauses actually that I did recently was, if you accept our offer today, by midnight, we will give you this much more than what we're offering. But if you don't accept our offer tonight,
here's our offer.
Exactly. So
it's sort of, let's not share all our secrets today.
I don't want to.
That's a huge one.
It's huge.
Because you're actually leaving, like, I don't want to say it, more meat on the bone. Like, there's like, and by the way, you can have this steak, and when you're finished with this one,
you're giving them everything that they want.
All right, lots of different ways to negotiate. There's a big difference between the people you're working with out there. Get your professional team together. There's a lot of great professionals. I'm sorry to say there's too many good lenders in town, even in our own backyard. And there's a lot of great real estate agents. You know, one thing is, it's not always, if you're new to the industry, it's how strong your support staff is in your team. Like your team, they can call you up and say, "I've got the client, I got the agreement," and just go over a few things and make sure things are tidied up. And nothing's better than great communication. I've got some people out there, they're afraid to call me. I did chew the one guy out a little bit, but I also.
Why are they afraid to call you, Harvey?
I reached out to him and said, "Look, man, here, let me be your guy, your liaison. In the future, don't make a mistake. Call me and we'll tell you how to fix it up, or how to tell the clients how to get an offer accepted and things of this nature." Anyways, good communication, right?
Good communication, and I think that. I don't want to scare anybody about the market, any buyers listening here. Sellers, you're in a really good position. Buyers, it's going to be a little tough, but getting a home is not impossible. It's the perfect cocktail, really, recipe, I would say, is you have an amazing full-time buyer's agent, and you have a listing agent who answers the phone or decides to,
it's the best.
You know, if I'm going on showings, I'm reaching out to these listing agents to find out what they have on the table. If they're not getting back to me, I can't tell my client really any sort of good direction other than based on numbers and experience of what's happening. So there's really no direction. But I love working with agents who are like, "Hey, I have nothing in hand. You're the first showing. Send me something. My seller is open to accepting offers as soon as possible."
Oh, yeah.
That situation is totally out there. So not everything is highest and best. Not everything is multiple offer. So don't be afraid to start, or don't be afraid to start looking. You need just call me. Really, I can help you. We could do a buyer consult. We'll figure it out. We'll figure out your goal, and I'll teach you basically what we need to do. on these offers.
Sometimes the sellers are actually better to work with than the seller's agents.
Oh, I agree. They make it way more difficult.
Yeah, and you got to find out their motivation. Anyways, that's why you need these professional people. We talk about it all the time. All right, 248-539-9797. Love to hear from you if you're buying or selling a house. Mortgage applications are coming back, though. Mortgage rates have moved up, but there still leaves about 5 to 10 million people that can benefit. There's a lot of weird ads out there, though. Yes, there's a lot of families that bought a house in the last 2 or 3 years, and they might be sitting on $20,000, $30,000 in equity, but you can't pull that equity out because the maximum cash out's 80%, folks. So again, everything you're hearing out there, you need to find out where the truth lies. And God, it doesn't always make sense to pull that equity out. If you just bought a house in the last 3 years and you're building equity, have the real pros look at your overall financial situation. I hate to see someone lose those great interest rates. Look, I love to refinance a lot of families, but it's not really the clients that necessarily closed in the last 2 years.
No, because you have some people that are working with like a 2 or 3% interest rate. Yeah. What is there to refinance?
Keep that there, and sometimes a home equity loan could make up the difference. Again, we want to do mortgage business, but we want to make sure that you're all set up for the future, and that's the most important thing. Again, 248-539-9797. We can move along here and talk about some different things about the industry. What should be prepared for in 2022? Again, we talk about the strong approval letter. All right, everyone's doing an inspection, though. There's no doubt, and one of the things that we've realized, some of the agents aren't sharing, because we're seeing the same house come up. They're not sharing the information about a bad inspection, which is illegal.
So illegal.
Uh-oh.
So illegal.
It came up a few times for us. I brought it up to you because we have so many clients looking in these particular cities.
Oh, okay. So one of my agents and we literally just had this conversation because you're exactly right. It's illegal. You really can't. Some people don't pen the home. They allow an inspection to go through, give people opportunities, and you'll know. So I've been an agent for quite a while now, so I've learned that, okay, if this house is a very nice home, it looks like maybe an investor-owned home or a flipped home, but it says it's been on the market for 2 to 3 weeks, active. There's no way. They must have accepted a deal, let the inspection go through, didn't pen it, inspection didn't go well, but because they didn't pen the home, there's no real history, right? There's no history, so we just kind of have to play a guessing game here. So I'll go through the home and I'll look for things like if there's new plumbing or certain situations in the house, that's a red flag for me. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe somebody bought the home and the inspection failed.
You can do a pass-fail, and we talk about this. You don't have to clobber anybody. We can get an inspector out there right away, usually within 24 hours even. They can do a great thorough inspection. You're not on the hook for anything. Nobody is. It's a pass-fail. Hey, you know what, folks? We got some issues with this flip here, but we can put the money into it. We're going to tear down the kitchen anyway, so I can fix that leak that's coming from the kitchen sink. That could, it's going to be torn up.
I'll tell you what. So a house just came back on the market. I'm going to go show it at 11:30. Agent, so transparent, so appreciative of this agent. Great. But the one thing why she's transparent is she's been an agent for a long time. She understands when you do something, things happen.
We should drop her name. We should just did the whole interview and did the whole show from this showing.
I wish I could remember her name.
Don't even. Maybe we'll throw her under. But
she was open to me. She said, "Hey, you know what? The house came back on the market because there's mold. The seller remediated it, and they put the proper ventilation in. The home is probably built in the 90s, from my memory, and engineering was totally different. And you should not skip over a home over mold. I think, especially in this market, if you have an opportunity to get your dream home and the seller is open to remediating the mold and fixing the problem and paying for it, I would still move forward with that property unless it's like dilapidated and it's black mold and it's all over the place. But mold is naturally occurring, and it's in like 5 out of 10 houses that I see. Maybe
even a little bit more than that. Again, it's not always 7. The poisonous kind.
Yeah, exactly.
And it could be remediated and it could be fixed. And great inspectors are a lot of fun. I used to love going and, hey, you're doing your inspection. Maybe I'll meet you over there and really go through the house and everything.
You learn so much.
We live in Michigan. Look, it's going to get like 130 degrees in those attics.
Oh.
And then there's some old ridge vent that was put in. It's not enough. They need the old-fashioned vent so the house isn't breathing, so it sweats. And then, literally, 20 years later, you got some mess up there.
It's not breathing. It's suffocating up there. There's so much mold up there. But a lot of it, too, is people have these bathroom fans that they're not venting them out properly. So it's just like hot air and moisture just going in there, and it needs to escape. So that's really why a lot of houses have mold. It's just as simple as that. Yeah. Nothing crazy, nothing hidden that the seller's purposely doing to the home. But I'll tell you what, people are waiving inspections, Harvey, to get these houses done.
They're still doing them. We'll talk about that probably in our next break. 248-539-9797. Eric, are you ready to go to one? All right, I am too. 926. Keep it here on 97.1 The Ticket. We'll be back. All right. You know what I love about the show, the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show, is when the callers call in at 248-539-9797, when I get a text from another real estate agent complimenting this great real estate agent, Alexis Carmona here.
Thank you.
Anthony John, Luxury Real Estate. Always great to have you in. We're like, I don't know, I don't want to call you a little sister, but maybe we are. We gel together because I love the energy that you bring, but it's the knowledge. You brought it up earlier. Knowledge and confidence is everything. I've been using the words. Now I hear other people using it on their commercials. They're not new words. I didn't invent them. But what we did invent was, wait a minute here, stop chasing some interest rate or what your cousin told you at the water cooler or all this knowledge from people that aren't.
My friend got this.
It's horrible. Like, it doesn't work in the housing industry. And especially, I just showed you something called loan level pricing adjustment. That's complicated stuff based on how much somebody's putting down on a house and what their credit scores and what their interest rate might be. But as you and I both know, something way more important than interest rate is closing on that house in a timely manner, because everyone's got a low interest rate.
I'll tell you what, a low interest rate, everybody could really get it right now. Okay, that's what's wonderful. But what we can't get right now is a lot of houses on the market. I wish we had just more inventory. If I'd be lying if I told you I didn't wish every day that appraisal waivers were like illegal for a minute. Right. Just for like 3 to 4 months. No one's allowed to do any appraisal guarantees. No one's allowed, because I think it would fix a little bit of our inventory issue. I think people would be more inclined to put their house on the market because they would feel more confident about competing. They wouldn't necessarily have to do cash,
Make things a little bit easier. Hey, let's go out to Stephen this morning. Hey, Stephen, thank you for calling. Good morning. Welcome to our show.
Well, good morning. How are you guys doing today?
Real good. What do you got going on?
Listen, just a criticism of the industry, just for a second.
Okay.
Ooh, I can't wait.
Well, you two had nothing to do with it. I listen to your show all the time, just because I'm up on this. Just do. So
All right,
nonetheless,
wait. What do you do for a living that you're gonna knock
Yeah,
down one of
I
us?
wanna hear
What
that.
do you do? What's your credibility? What's your street cred?
what's my street cred? I am a manufacturer's rep for assembly lines.
And you own a house.
Yes, I own a house. Exactly.
All right, tell us what you do.
So first thing first of the two quick stories is one, I was walking my little doggy up in my neighborhood, and I walked by a realtor, and I saw a building for lease. And my partners and I are looking for a building to purchase or lease. So I went in, I spoke to the young lady, and she was having a lot of personal issues, etc. I contacted her, reached out to her 3 times. She called me back all 3 times, never showed me the building.
That's interesting.
I understand people have issues, but that does not ingratiate myself into the realtor world. That did nothing for your image at all. And she didn't make any money either. She would have been better off just rolling it off to my realtor. I told her I work with a realtor. She said, no, my realtor doesn't really do industrial sites, and that's what it was. So that's story number one. So I bought a different building for $1.8 million. So story number 2 is I was looking for a house over in Grosse Pointe, and my realtor, I won't use any names, but my realtor is the premier realtor over on the east side. So he calls me, says, Steve, I got a house for you. We roll over and look at it. We take the cut sheet, and I'm not dragging my wife to every house we look at. We come home with the cut sheet, and I'm showing it to her, and it says 2 full bathrooms on it. Well, they already know that I have a realtor, so I feel okay calling them, because I called the listing agent, and I said, you know who I am? She said, yeah. I said, you know who my realtor is? She goes, oh, yeah, we work with them all the time. I said, explain to me this cut sheet. And they said, okay, 1,800 square feet, Grosse Pointe, blah, blah, blah. I said, yeah, it says 2 full bathrooms. Where's the second one?
Ooh.
In
Basement?
the bathroom. Yeah.
Is it in the basement?
In the basement.
Yeah.
So I asked a simple question. If this house is 2,000 square feet on the first floor, and you're telling me it has 2 full bathrooms, what's the square footage of the other bathroom? 0? And she said that's an industry standard. Well, if that's true, that's like 2 strikes against that industry.
All right, let's comment on a couple things, and these do pop up. I appreciate the call. All right, let's go forward. We're going to have Becky's calling in, too, in a little bit.
Ooh, Becky.
Becky's going to want to talk about it. All right, Alexis, first of all, is this a nuts world out there that somebody is contacting? This guy's buying over $1 million commercial building. You're calling that person. We just talked about showings. Wait, Alexis, she couldn't even bring her boyfriend into the studio today to check it out.
Just because I'm overwhelmed with my
you're working
schedule.
all day. Yeah, so it's a bummer that she didn't show you the house. Give me a comment, though, a response to this.
Well, one, I would say it sounded like maybe that realtor didn't work in commercial from what I was understanding. Was that what she had said to you?
She had the listing. My realtor is residential. So my realtor said, just call the broker and just call the person that has it listed and, set something up. So I called the listing agent. Now, granted, she had some family issues. She told me about some family members with COVID and hospitals, and she was, I understand all that. I've been working for a few years.
Yeah.
You know what I wanted to go to? Last week, hey, did you hear the show, Steve? Last week we had our appraiser in. Again, appraisal from Paramount Appraisers, just a guy we use to come on the show and talk what's going on out there. So we talk about the difference of square footage and living space. So yeah, there's been some agents.
It's definitely different with commercial.
Right. Living space, an agent who's listing the house might say, hey, look, it's a 2,000 square foot ranch. We know the basement's another 1,500, and they put living space 3,500. We know that square footage doesn't count in the basement. We know that, so the bathrooms don't count either.
We do know that.
And that's it. I'm not looking to get on anybody, but I'm just saying that I don't do business that way. If I tell you my assembly line makes a Cadillac, at the end of the line, Cadillac rolls off. Not a Chevy.
Well, I could totally respect how you do business, and people do have their personal things, so maybe that's why that didn't work out for you. I'm not 100% sure.
Steve, I love it. You got the top agent on there anyway, so all good stuff, man. Hey, definitely we got to let you go. Rebecca Alley, you're calling in. Becky, we miss you. Becky Alley on the phone.
Hey,
Becky.
Hey, I know, I'm so sad I'm not in the studio right now with you guys.
Well, I wish you were here.
I know, you're my girls. Like, what is up? My daughter had something going on, but I did not want to not call in. And all the good material you guys are putting out, but I am sad I'm not in the studio with you guys today.
Well, it's good to hear your voice.
Becky, sure enough, the calls are starting to call in. We just had a caller call in, and we had that conversation about square footage that we had last week back on there. It just, again, when you're navigating, Becky, and when you're navigating with Alexis or someone who's a great real estate agent, they immediately can look at the listing and go, well, wait a minute here. Just because it says this, let's go through all these rooms and what is a room and what's considered a bathroom and square footage.
Well, ultimately, appraisers are people too, right? And they might make a mistake. I even had
human errors.
My mom. Yes, and for example, my mom was doing a refinance, and the appraisers, they're taking in so much business. There's not enough of them, right? There's the new people that are coming in. They have to have so much, so many shadowing hours.
Yeah, you have to have so many hours in.
Right, and so my mom's house was appraised, and they missed one of the bedrooms, and that clearly had a closet. She was like, he was here for like 5 minutes. Okay, well, we fixed it, right? Because I know that was a bedroom, and we adjusted it. We made those things, but they're people too, right? And we want them to be perfect because we have these ideals of what our house is, and everyone thinks, the bathroom in the basement is supposed to be counted and things like that. So that's why when you line yourself with professionals like Alexis, like Capital Mortgage Funding, right? We know what to look for. So we know that if an appraisal comes in and there is erroneous information, well, we're going to adjust that for you, right? We're going to go up to bat for you. But sometimes that might not negate a different value, but we still want the data to be correct.
I agree with that. The data needs to be correct. I want my client to know exactly what type of home they're getting, the truth about their home, the truth about their square footage, all of that. That way, when they know what product they have, when they go to resell it as well, they have the knowledge. I think it's very important.
Yes.
All right,
100%.
Becky. Glad you're joining us. Refinancing cash out of your house. There's been a lot of talk out there. Yes, a lot of families who've just bought in the last 2 years, there are reasons why they need to refinance. They might get out of that mortgage insurance, that PMI on a conventional loan, or maybe get out of the FHA MIP, which that mortgage insurance truly never goes away if you only put 3.5% down. So there are reasons why someone...
Well, Harvey,
yes.
I don't want to interrupt, but even
Please.
me personally, you have people that buy new construction. I want to refinance from a non-warrantable.
Oh, there you go, too.
Oh, yeah.
There are some non-warrantable condominiums out there. Another reason, land contracts. Becky, cash out refinancing makes sense for some families, but these rates are up a little bit. It's got to make sense for you.
Yeah, okay, but the interest rate on a mortgage is going to be what? I don't know, microscopic in comparison to the 20% interest rate someone's paying on a credit card, right? So everyone's situation is situational, right? So like my situation is not going to be the same as Alexis and yours and everyone else's, right? So if someone's on an FHA mortgage right now and they're paying $300 in mortgage insurance and the equity has appreciated in their home where now they can get, that can go away, well, then that's a situation that's worth having a conversation.
Absolutely.
If credit card debt, right? You just bought the house. Everyone buys the furniture, the paint, reestablish the cabinets, whatever they're doing cosmetically. Well, guess what? Not everyone has the liquid funds to do those kinds of things. So what are they using? They're using revolving credit card debt, and that gets out of hand.
I would
really,
rather
really
have
fast.
I would rather have a HELOC versus a credit card debt with that interest rate.
Exactly. It's something that you can control. And when we're having these conversations, we're not out here promoting, using your home as a piggy bank. We often say that. But if I can save someone, like I just literally closed someone last month, $500 per month by using the equity in their home, the rate overall debt load is less, even with the interest rates moving a little bit, $500 a month. And now they're going to pay their house off in 10 years because that money that they're saving, they're going to apply towards the principal. And that's even if they only apply half of what they're saving. I mean, it's, every situation is different, but it's worth having that phone call. Absolutely.
Becky,
It's all about education.
Oh, education and the knowledge is everything. Beck, someone saves $1,000 principal and interest payment. They knock 2 years off. That's $24,000, right? You save $1,000 a month. You pay off the loan 3 years earlier. It's $36,000. So the numbers and the savings can add up still quickly. Becky, I like that you threw out there the FHA. If you have an FHA mortgage, again, with loan limits now on FHA are $420,680. Last year they were in the 300s.
Yeah.
So if you have one of those bigger FHA loans to get you in, why did you have to go FHA? Maybe a bankruptcy. You had to buy that. You had to do a short sale, right? You still didn't qualify for the conventional loan. Now might be that chance to switch it over. Again, always check with your lenders. Call Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE. The best mortgage banker will always get you set up. All right, let's move back to...
Think about it.
Lay it on. Stick with me.
If someone were to stack $25,000 on a desk, you're going to leave it there? No, you're not. And just because that interest savings is something that you can't see doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
So true. You know what it is, though, Becky? Not many people were educated on money and savings and investing. When I went to school, I don't think I had any sort of education. I learned it directly from my parents. So
Right,
whatever
same.
my parents knew, I knew. And whatever my parents didn't know, I didn't know, But luckily enough, my parents were highly educated and hard workers, and they really instilled in me money matters.
Yeah, everything makes sense. I want to know geography too, and those are some of my the fun classes that I had in history and things like
Ancient
that.
Civ. I love Ancient Civ.
But yeah, right. You like ancient civilization, Roman civilizations. That's a good one. But nothing wrong with financial literacy.
Seriously.
And boy, oh boy, could they teach so much more of this in school? Credit, savings account,
All
checking
of it.
account. How do you even write a check for that matter?
IRAs, Roth, all of that.
All that. All right. All that and a whole lot more. Keep it here on 97.1 The Ticket. It's the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show. 248-539-9797. We'll be back. All right, we are back. All right, a little technical difficulty there. No big deal. The sun is shining here in Michigan. We're happy that spring's around the corner. You got to
yes.
tune to the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show. We're in our last segment here. We'd love to hear from you. 248-539-9797. Becky, some technical problem where you get disconnected after we drop the callers. You might have to keep calling back in. Hang in there, my friend. You there, Beck? She's there. Hey, Becky. I don't know. We're figuring it all out. Eric, you got it. Did you have your coffee, Eric? I'll bring you one next time.
Somebody get this guy some caffeine.
Yeah, hey, you know what? Let's
I
go
need
to
all the caffeine. I'm always I need a quad shot to cook it up.
Beck, you might have to keep calling in. We are going to go to caller Kevin out there. We'll go to our callers this morning, and Becky might have to just call one more time in their technical difference. All right, good morning, Kevin. You on the air with us?
Hi, I'm just curious if there's any disadvantage. I've been paying about $400 a month extra on my house for the last 10 years. I've got to pay down to only like $30,000. I mean, should I not finish paying that off? Is there tax implications? Or
finish paying it off. You no longer have to pay $400 a month. That's $4,800 in your pocket every year. What's your interest rate on that 30?
3.75.
Pay it off just as it comes. You're borrowing the money pretty cheap. If life is good, I don't know, just either pay it off or you're borrowing it so little, use the additional money to put in maybe some other accounts now. We're always afraid of where to invest our money too, Kevin. Your financial planner, I'm sure, he was probably telling you, hey, stocks are down now. Maybe it's a buying opportunity. So he's going to want to spend your money. You could always put the money back. You can always put the money back in your house or save it for a rainy day.
Right. Well, a lot of people have a lot of ideas for my money, but yeah.
All right, yeah. What are your ideas, right? So
I've got almost enough to pay it off, but I didn't know if I should or not.
Well, again, I don't know you're over.
Get with your accountant, and I would talk to a CPA,
What's your
right?
goal?
Because depending on your situation, you might need that tax write-off, with the interest and things like that. I know there's a new standardized deduction, and they're always changing it, so we're not tax advisors, but I would probably contact your CPA as far as like what you got going on with retirement, just to kind of make sure you are in the best position should you, pay that off, or can you utilize your financials for something else instead of putting all that cash right on that down payment?
Yeah, definitely keep some extra additional money there. Put it aside. Financial planners will give you the way. You just got to look at the math. The math don't lie. Sometimes people do, but the math will definitely tell you what you need to do.
Right on with that, Harvey.
Yeah, like you said, everyone's got an idea for his own money, right? You got to get the right people to tell them what's up.
Kevin, thanks for the call. I think we're going to try to get Anthony's office plugged in there. Hey, good morning. Anthony John's office. Go ahead.
Ooh.
Good morning.
Oh,
It's Mr. Anthony John. You know me.
Good morning.
I know you.
That's right. Good morning to the most fierce people in our industry, Harvey and Alexis. Good morning.
Morning.
Great to have you there, sir. We were talking earlier. You got this great new office. There's lots of agents in there. A lot of fun things happen. Even though the industry's a little scary now, Anthony, you see rates burp up a little bit, the lack of inventory. We're putting families in houses. There's nothing better. I still see the great pictures
There's
at the closing.
nothing stopping our brand. Nothing right now. We're such a good unit. We all work together like a team. We're always sending listings that we're getting in a group chat. It's like never ending. So we're all always actively trying to help one another. And I think that's what's getting us to the top year after year after year.
And I saw you guys cutting out all that negativity when you guys were doing your vision board.
Oh yeah, my team. We did. I threw a brunch, and we had our scissors. We were cutting out negativity.
I love it. I do love it. Like if you're not following this team on social media, if you're a social media person, you need to. They put out great material, and then you get to actually see what your agents are doing. Like they're real people too, but they're authentic to who they are with you and without you.
I like to see people working every day. Anthony John, Luxury Real Estate. Anthony, if you could just change one thing going into 2022, is it probably going to be the inventory?
I got to tell you, I don't think I change anything right now. I think that this market is probably one of the most fierce markets out there, and I got to tell you, we're going to see a lot of inventory actually come this spring. There's a lot of people. Look here, in a humble way, I do a lot of business personally still myself. And I've got, I'd say at least 10 listings that I'm sitting on that my clients want me to put on the market. But they said, look, wait till the end of March, wait till the early part of April. And there's a lot of people like that. So they're just trying to find the right place. I think it's going to be a big year for everyone. So those people that are listening in, don't be negative. Listen, stay positive. Your best is coming, and we're going to have a gigantic year, meaning that these buyers, these sellers, everybody's going to have, Lex, one of my famous words, Hakuna Matata. It's going to be great.
I have a question. So, like, to that point, what is the difference between someone putting a listing on at the end of March and April? Because it's like a mental thing. Like, when they want to wait, is it that they're not ready? Their house is going to show better in the spring. I'm just curious and I know our listeners are too, right? What is the purpose of waiting like that? What's the strategy there?
Well, I can only speak for my clients, right? So what they're waiting on is they're doing some spring cleaning. They've got the bulk of my clients. I won't say hoard status, because I think that might be a little harsh, but they've just got a lot of stuff, and they're trying to get it ready. It's cold. It's been a brutal winter, right? The snow, the cold, so they're just waiting for it to kind of warm up, and where they feel more comfortable actually going outside and looking at property. So that's really what it is, and I see too many people just getting stressed out. These buyers are getting stressed out. They think it's doom and gloom, and it's not like that.
Well, I think I tell all my clients that too. Like, what's meant for you will be for you. It won't miss you. So just remain patient.
110%.
And you have a good team. Do your best. I'll do my best. It'll come.
All right.
110%. Stay positive. Work with the best. Work with a solid loan officer, a solid realtor.
Harvey, you're one of the best in the business. I tell you one thing, you've got one of the greatest voices ever.
Oh my God, I love this guy.
Harvey's voice. I mean, I think he can lullaby anyone to sleep. I mean, he's got swag.
This guy.
Sleep, he'll wake you
Wait
up.
a minute, don't say that. I'm coming by for the free lunch this week. Don't say that.
Yeah, he's
to
bringing
me.
bagels, Anthony. Don't ruin it for me.
Anthony, I'm going to talk about luxury real estate. That's one of the things, too. Anthony does deal. These are luxury homes. These are gorgeous houses. There's no doubt. The grass is still not green yet. And it's a lot prettier. And these people have pride in their homes. These are gorgeous homes.
Yes.
You're calling and you're walking into Anthony John Luxury Real Estate. This is a listing. This house is prepared, and these people have pride. They don't want to show it right now. I'm okay with that.
Goodness, yes.
I don't want to show my house now, but I would like to show it just in May. Give me a couple more spring rains and green up the grass a little.
And honestly, I don't think if they wait in other markets, I would tell my clients, hey, if you want to list, I wouldn't wait till the spring just because that's when everybody else wants to list, right? And it lowers chances of you getting what you want, right? Because there's more competition of other houses on the market. But in this scenario, I just think no matter what time you put the house on, even if you wait, you're going to kill it. You're going to win. You're going to come out on top as a seller in this market, I think, throughout the rest of 2022.
Right. If March works for you or April works for you or June or July. Go ahead, guys. What do you say, Becky? Go ahead.
I agree with that. I mean, even with the influx of inventory, the level of new buyers that are entering the market on a daily basis the inventory is not going to be enough to offset. So it's going to continue to be a seller's market like we spoke about. So it is going to be great to kind of maybe relieve some pressure, for these buyers and give them something new to look at. But it is going to remain extremely competitive. So who you align yourself with is very important. But I agree with what Alexa said. What is meant for you will come for you. And, if it's for you, it's going to be there. And don't be discouraged if you miss out on that, and don't get FOMO and get desperate and start overpaying for something just because you don't want to miss out something and it's really just not even the house you want in the first place.
And I think too, like if you have a gut feeling that maybe your realtor is not the one for you, or they're not doing what they should be doing, or if you think they might be more part-time or a little more green, you should follow that gut instinct and maybe hire someone else. I mean, I'm available.
Find out what those differences are for sure. You got, again, different strokes for different folks. You've got lots of different agents in your office with different backgrounds and stuff. And sometimes someone will jive with us, for some different reasons. And that's why it's so important that if you're a buyer out there, you never know when that opportunity comes up, right? Someone might just want to sell it to you because they saw you have 2 kids and you want to go to the same schools they raised their family at.
And not even just that, because that kind of goes against a little bit of familial status, housing, but fair housing, I should say.
Okay.
But I could say an agent that knows another listing agent or has done a lot of deals with that listing agent, they're more inclined to want to do a deal with you. So if they know the list or the buyer's agent very well, they know that the buyer's agent has never steered them wrong with a bad lender or a bad file, you're probably going to get the deal accepted with the top agent, the top buyer's agent, because they're active in the market. They have a lot of relationships with the other agents. They have inventory in their pocket, off-market inventory. They're highly active. They work 7 days a week. They're not working 5 days a week. If you can't go see a house, they're going to FaceTime you. These are the agents you want to work with in this market.
I like that.
1,000%.
Anthony, do you want to get a final word in?
Well, I can only. Well, I always have a final word. The final word is this. I'm wishing all of your buyers, sellers, your clients, you, Lex, and everybody in the world positive vibrations.
Thank you.
It's going to be a big year. I wish you guys all health. Stay positive. We're almost out of this COVID pandemic. I'm seeing a lot of positivity out there. I love it. And ABC always be closing. Check out our billboards. There's over 14 billboards.
Yeah, I saw them the other
luxury
day.
real estate.
Awesome.
And just remember, the luxury is for service. We love everyone. They love us, and we'd love to do a deal with you. AnthonyJohn.com. And remember, the D is silent.
I like that one for sure. Anthony John, Luxury Real Estate. Thanks for joining us, Anthony. We got a few more minutes here with Alexis Carmona. And, of course, you can reach Alexis Carmona and the entire staff of Anthony John, Luxury Real Estate, over there in the Troy office. And, again, just punch him in and Google him up, and you'll get...
Google me.
Google her. She'll get a professional agent on the phone.
Also,
I've seen those billboards. In fact, there's
Aren't
one.
they awesome?
I saw Robert and Vera's. I saw that one. That's a real
Power
cool
couple.
one and stuff. There you go. You got those guys out there. I saw on 275, and I'm sure they're all over Southeast Michigan. So it's a lot of fun. Again, real estate is going to be happening again in 2022. Lack of inventory. Get your ducks in a row.
But
Same
listen,
stuff we're saying.
If I I think we could fix this lack of inventory. If you were ever a seller that kind of was nervous about your ROI, you're thinking, I kind of bought this house. I'm not 100% sure I was going to get my money back. But guess what? This market, you're going to get your money back. So if you ever questioned your investment, I think give us a call. We'll come over there. We'll run some comps. We'll give you an action plan. If it makes sense for you, it's time to release your investment back into the market. Let's put it on. Let's get it on there.
Becky, they're saying another double-digit appreciation again. There's nothing wrong with making even 8, 9, 10% as appreciation in your home.
Listen, no one wants their house to depreciate, right? We're not selling cars where as soon as you drive it off the lot, you're losing $20,000 on it, right? These are, appreciating assets. The biggest asset 99% are ever going to own, right? Sometimes you buy, it's hard, you can buy high and sell low sometimes, but that's not the case right now. It's just not. So like what Alexis is saying, if you were thinking that like, hey, could I make some money on it? Is there something better for me? Now is the time because you are going to get top dollar.
Yes.
For sure.
All right, that wraps up another version of the Hardcore Mortgage Show. We've got Pat Caputo coming up with sports. Keep it here on 97.1 The Ticket. I want to thank Alexis Carmona, Anthony John, Luxury Real Estate. Check them out. You can just Google it, Anthony John, Luxury Real Estate, and see their billboards all across Southeast Michigan.
They're wonderful.
Be sure to call Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. We'll see you next Saturday.
Bye.